Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, members of council. Good evening. This is the special council meeting agenda for the planning public meeting. It is Wednesday, December the 10th, 2025, a very snowy day out there. So we want to thank members of council who made it in here tonight and members of our staff that are here as well. Council, this is going to be a public planning meeting session. So we're going to start off with the approval of the agenda. Recommendation be it resolved, the Council of the Township Clearview hereby approve the agenda dated December 10, 2025 as presented. Mr. Walker, Mr. Beelan, thank you. I'll go with Councillor Walker and Councillor Deneen because she's on top of that there, Mr. Beelan. We got that covered. And any questions on the agenda? Nothing? Okay, all in favor? The agenda carries. Thank you. Declaration of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof. Anybody got any declarations? Seeing none? Thank you very much. If something comes up, we'll deal with it right away. Item 3 is our public meeting. So we're going to move to our public meeting procedures, of course, that we pass the chair to the Deputy Mayor, and Deputy Mayor Van Staveren will now carry on with the public meeting. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Worship. We will now initiate the public meeting portion of tonight's agenda. We invite you to comment on the application being presented tonight and engage in the process with us. If you wish to be notified of the decision of the Corporation of the Township of Clearview on an application being discussed this evening, please complete a public delegation form and submit it to the Deputy Clerk. The views expressed in the public comments are solely those of individuals providing them and do not reflect the opinions of the Township, its agents, or its employees. It is not possible for the Township to verify accuracy of all information provided by members of the public. The Township therefore assumes no responsibility for any inaccurate information that may be contained within the public comments. If you have information that might correct, clarify, or refute any statements contained within the public comments, please forward it to the Township Planning Department. Be advised that your comments or requests to be notified will form part of the public record. Your communication and any personal information therein will be made available to the public unless you expressly request its removal. If a person or public body would otherwise have an ability to appeal the decision of the Township of Clearview to the Ontario Land Tribunal, but the person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions before the proposed official plan or zoning bylaw amendment is adopted or passed, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision. If a person or public body does not make an oral submission at a public meeting or make written submissions to the Township of Clearview before the proposed official plan or zoning bylaw amendment is adopted or passed, the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the Ontario Land Tribunal unless, in the opinion of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to add the person or public body as a party. The following public meeting will involve a brief presentation by our planning staff, an opportunity for the applicant or their agent to present their application, a period for public comments or questions, and an opportunity for questions by planning committee. There, we will now begin the public planning meeting with respect to item 3.1, zoning bylaw amendment for file 2025-080. The applicant is Nicola Scrignolini on behalf of 863195 Ontario Limited, and it's regarding the Ashton Meadows Phase 2 subdivision. Our planning staff will now start with a brief presentation concerning the application. Nick, I believe you're the man.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Nick Ainley. I'm a community planner here at the Township of Clearview, and as indicated, I'm here tonight to provide a brief high-level presentation regarding the zoning bylaw amendment 2025-080, known as the Ashton Meadows Phase 2 lands, which will be followed by a more detailed presentation by the applicant's consultant. Next slide. This is my contact information, so anyone watching online or attending in public, if you have any questions or comments, please submit them to my attention. Next slide. In terms of location, the subject lands are located within the southern boundary of the Stainer-Selman area. Roughly, they're bounded by Warrington Road to the east and Canada Road 42 to the west, but more specifically, they do maintain frontage onto an unopened portion of the Margaret Street road allowance. Next slide. So in terms of purpose and effect, so the overall effect and purpose of the application is to facilitate the residential development of the subject lands via future draft plan and subdivision application. To facilitate this, the proposed zoning bylaw application public meeting tonight seeks to rezone the subject lands from a development from a development DA or development area exception zone, DA1 zone, and residential low density exception RS37 zone to 5 individual zone classifications. The first one being in a residential multiple low density hold zone or an RS3 hold, environmental protection zone, EP zone, a single institutional hold, IN, and residential multiple low density hold RS3 zone, a recreational lands exception zone, as well as a stormwater management facility zone. In terms of the site-specific amendments and exceptions that are proposed, that'd be subject to the recreational lands exception zone that's proposed, and basically that would be to limit the permitted uses in that zone to only passive recreational uses or conservation uses. As indicated, a number of the zone classifications are subject to holding provisions. And basically what that does is that no development would be permitted on the lands until such time that the holding is removed. And removal of the holding would be subject to sufficient water capacity to satisfaction of the township being confirmed for the subject lands. Next slide, please. In terms of submission items, as a part of a complete application, there's a number of technical documents that were submitted. This included a plan justification report, archaeological assessment, the draft plan of subdivision, environmental impact study, environmental site assessment that was updated, functional servicing report, geotechnical investigation, stormwater management design brief, as well as a traffic impact study. This information is all available online and it'll be found via the hyperlink in this presentation. Next slide. In terms of notice of circulation, so notice was given in accordance with the Planning Act. This was done on November 20th, 2025. It was done via posting notification signage on the property, as well as a mail out to all residents within 120 meters of the subject lands. It was also posted on the township's website. The details of the application and support material have been made available to the public. They can be viewed online, and it has been circulated to the relevant commenting agencies for input. Next slide. So in terms of public comments, if public comments were received before the publishing date of the agenda for the public meeting tonight, they do form part of the agenda. Any comments received after the publishing of the public meeting agenda will be published as a part of the recommendation report that is to follow. Next slide. Nope. In terms of review process, so the application was received July 10th and updated one on October 8th. The application was deemed complete on November 7th. Notice of public meeting was given on November 20th. Tonight, December 10th, is the public meeting. And then the subsequent recommendation report was tentatively scheduled for January 26th with the bylaw to be brought back on February 9th. I note that the draft plan of subdivision application, the concurrent application, was deemed complete with notice being issued shortly. And with that application being deemed complete, both applications will kind of mesh together now and be reviewed under that timeline. So that basically concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to address any questions following the applicant's presentation. Thank you.
Good, thank you, Nick. Their agent or somebody's here speaking tonight, I believe. We have them booked.
Yes, that's me.
Okay, well, the floor is yours or the screen is yours, so please go ahead.
Thank you. I had a presentation as well. There, it's coming up. Okay, so good evening, members of council, members of the public, city staff. My name is Daphne Goxon. I'm a senior planner from Innovative Planning Solutions, and I'm here tonight representing the applicants for the zoning bylaw amendment for phase 2 of the Ashton Meadows subdivision in Stayner. I was intending to come in person tonight. I have everything all ready to go, but the weather sort of convinced me that perhaps it was best to stay off the road. So I do apologize for not being there in person. I commend all of you that made it there in person. I hope that you drove safe, and I hope everyone gets home safe tonight as well. Go to the next slide. This again, Nick had also shown this, the location of the subject lands. It's almost 26 hectares along the south side, the unopened portion of the street in the south end of Stayner. As you can see from this aerial, the built-up area of Stayner is directly to the north. There's also the phase 1 of Ashton Meadows, which is currently being built out to the west. This aerial is a little dated, so it doesn't really show the development, but I'm sure you're all familiar that is underway, partially developed right now. Lands to the south and west are currently undeveloped, but are potential future development lands. Next slide. So the official plan designates the lands for residential and for greenlands. We're not proposing any development on the greenlands area. zoning bylaw zones the lands mostly as development area exception 1 with a portion in the residential multiple low density exception 7 zone. Next slide. Sorry, this is a kind of a wordy slide, but just to give some history. So phase 1 of the Ashton Meadows subdivision was registered in July of 2021. As I mentioned, it is currently being developed. There's homes already occupied, there's homes that are for sale, and it's currently in the development stages. The planning process for the phase 2 lands began back in 2008 with technical studies. There was a pre-consultation that was completed in 2020, including a review of the older technical studies. As part of those pre-consultation discussions, some key design changes were made, which resulted in the site plan that we have before council, which will be on a future slide. Submission was made in 2022, but the project was deemed incomplete and put on hold due to a lack of water servicing in Stainer. A new pre-consultation was done in 2024 for updated planning documents at both the provincial and local levels. And then on January 27th of this year, the great news came down from the province that they were committing $35 million for the Stainer water well field pumping station and mains, which ensure capacity for this phase 2 development. So as a result, as mentioned, we did make our formal resubmission in August of 2025. So next slide. So this is the plan of subdivision that we've submitted. So there's 215 proposed single-family residential blocks. There's also a proposed school block. It's sort of in the center on the north side of the plan there. Should the school board get the school block, we sort of slotted in additional homes that would be built there, which would bring the total to 247 homes. See that we received a letter from the school board and that they are definitely interested in that site. So great opportunity there for the community. The plan also includes stormwater pond. Those environmental protection lands, as mentioned, those green lands are all being preserved as part of this. A park, there'll also be sidewalks. There's pedestrian connections throughout. There's also street connections included to the phase 1 land, to sort of future development lands as well. Extension of Margaret Street with full urbanization. Okay. So this is a map showing, or a plan showing a proposed zoning bylaw amendment, which is the purpose of the meeting tonight. I know it's a little bit busy just because of all of the different uses. There's multiple zones. So Nick did mention all of the zones that we're proposing, but in general, you know, all the single family blocks are residential multiple low density at the RS3. We have institutional zoning for the school block. Recreation lands for the park, and then there's the stormwater management facility zoning and environmental protection zoning. The holding symbol will be included on all the development zones, so the RS3 and the IN zones, until the water capacity is confirmed. So once that new pumping station is built out, then we'll be able to remove the hold. So as mentioned, there a number of technical studies were completed as part of this process. This is a list. I know Nick also provided a list of those studies, and all of them are included with this mission, and as was mentioned, are available for review on the township website. Go to the next slide. So just in conclusion, we're here tonight in support of the zoning bylaw amendment for phase 2 of the Ashton Meadows subdivision. As mentioned, it would provide at least 215 new homes, as well as some park and environmental protection and stormwater management space, and a potential school block. The subdivision has been designed to integrate with phase 1, as well as the planned future development of the Stainer community, and should be a great extension of the Stainer community. Yeah, this concludes my presentation. Thanks again for your time. And again, I apologize for not being there in person. And please let me know if you have any questions or comments.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll keep you on board right now, and we'll start into the question period. Does anybody in the audience have a question for this application at all? Did you want to ask anything, sir, or you just, okay? So anybody with that, I'll just ask again, does anybody in the audience wish to make a comment, ask a question, or address committee with respect to the application? Questions may be directed to or responded to by the applicant, their agent, or staff, but should be addressed through the chair. Please remember to complete and submit your delegation form. I asked it once. I asked it twice. I asked it 3 times. Now, that concludes that portion. Now, He did not wish to
Okay,
ask a
just
question.
checking.
I've already asked him, yeah. Okay, and members of this committee wish to ask questions. I see, Councillor Beelan, you wish to start, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's more of a point of privilege, I guess. Is this our speakers that are doing this really, really loud and then really, really quiet? Or were you having your microphone far away and then close? It just finds it hard to follow. I'm glad you had a good presentation visually, but it was really hard to hear. I thought when it was getting real, is that our speaker system?
It's coming out of yeah, the audio is coming from the speaker on the TV up there. So we need to have that adjusted.
So did anybody else find it was getting really, really
No,
loud
they
and then
did
really, really
that.
quiet?
Yeah.
I think it'll be part of something we're going to address as a result of the budget discussion from Monday. So there you go.
Okay, because it was a little bit hard to follow at times. I'm glad it was a good verbal or a written presentation as well. Thanks.
Thanks, Barney. Councillor Deneen?
I just wanted to ask through the chair to Nick, the page 3 of the applicant's presentation. There's Greenland hazard and hazard lands, but off to the where the stormwater management is, there's property going towards Margaret Street. What's happening with that? It looks like it's going to be residential lots.
Thank you through the chair to the councillor. Yeah, so currently it is designated in the township's official plan document as residential. As a part of the application, the draft plan subdivision and zoning bylaw application, they have submitted an EIS. So we will assess that area in greater detail as well. But an initial assessment was done previously as a part of their original review. But as of this point in time, it would be residential, but we will review that as a part of the zoning application.
Thank you.
Going this way, any, Councillor MacArthur?
Yeah, through the chair, I'm not sure who's going to answer this or could answer this. I noticed when phase 1 was developed, there was a temporary drive put off Airport Road for heavy trucks and whatnot. But subsequent to that, Margaret Street got beat up pretty bad through the construction of phase 1. I just wondered if there's any provision, or can we make a provision that Margaret Street somehow gets repaired and that they do make a totally separate construction entranceway for this phase, either from the east or the west, I guess.
Thank you, Chair, to the councillor. So absolutely, as a part of the draft plan of subdivision application, any sort of approvals would be conditional on whatever conditions we'd like to have in there. Obviously, construction entrances and accesses would be something that Public Works would review to confirm to make sure that there was as little disturbance as possible. And if eventually the full urbanization of Margaret Street is a requirement of the development. So the intent would be that the zoning to help facilitate the draft plan would help facilitate that improvement moving forward.
Good with that, thank you. So you'll add that in your comments then, I guess. Right, yes, thank you. Mayor Measures, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to ask the applicant's representative about the school block. You said that you have received communication from the school board and that they appear to be engaged in this and are interested in that. So I'm just interested, you know, whether the school indicated to you that they have other sites as well across Stayner that they are focusing on at the same time. So it may be a situation where as population grows, this block may sit idle for some time. And I just wonder what the applicant's comment would be on that, given that there are several opportunities for new school builds in Stayner. And I just wondered, you know, what was some of the content of that communication?
Sure, I'll take that question. Good evening, everyone. My name is Cameron Sellers.
Oh,
I'm
hi,
with
Cameron. Hi there.
Hey,
See you now.
how you doing?
There you are.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
with Innovative Planning Solutions as well on behalf of Cortel. So we've been back and forth with the school board over the years. So it started with we may want a school, and then it went to we don't need a school, and then they came back and said we do need a school. So it's been back and forth. So we're not sure because they're not sure. They are looking at other sites in another development actually that we're representing as well in another area of Stayner. So it's still undetermined. But so we've allowed for a block, but we do have an underlying plan with roads and lots so that it is laid out in the event that they don't need that school block, and people can see what will be there if the school block doesn't go there.
All right, Cameron, thank you through the chair. I appreciate that because certainly I've looked at this block in the past and have not seen a school block on it appearing. Certainly the environmental protection area with the stormwater management systems, et cetera, was on there. And I'm glad to see that that's continuing to be included. So, all right, well, we'll just, I guess if I can, I'll ask the staff, would it be common that we can set the block in this and put it in the site plan, but if the school board decline it, that we could then go into a revision to use that block for something else in the future? Is that the procedure? What would happen, Nick?
Through the chair. Yeah, so basically we could do that, and they could obviously, if it does become a school block currently, however, if it turns out that it's not required, the subsequent discussions with the school board, they could do a red line revision to amend that and redesign that block or component of the subdivision. So it is possible. Staff's hope would be that through the zoning and draft plan review process that we would really iron out the requirements for that school block. But you're correct, if things do change over time, so that possibility would be available.
Okay. That's good to know that there's some flexibility. Cameron, did you have something else?
I did, yeah. So I just want to say we did we've seen this in the past, and we want to be a little proactive with this application. So we've requested dual zoning for that block that would allow for both the school and for the homes, the underlying homes that we've drawn out if the school doesn't happen.
Okay. Again, that's good to be flexible. So I think that's fair, given that while Stayner is growing, there's possibilities of schools and even reusing the school site that's not very far from this location where we're sitting right now. So there's possibilities there too. Mr. Chair, if I can, I got other questions. Thank you. The school discussion brings me to a point about water and wastewater. Schools do consume a great amount of water, and so they take up a lot of what we call units. And so once we allocate this and we get calculations on what type of school will be built there or future use, we'd have to allocate those units immediately to make them secure so that that site could move ahead if they decide to build that. And so we'll have to do some shuffling of unit numbers to make that match through engineering discussion. I'm just looking to the staff to confirm that that would be the procedure, to supplemental to whether it would be continuing to be a school block or a residential block.
Through the chair to the mayor. So absolutely, as a part of the detailed review process and as part of the draft conditions, the capacity would be reviewed. Capacity typically isn't dedicated until final approval is gone forward. So at that time, we will know what will be proposed for that area, whether it is the block will be developed for a school or for residential units. But absolutely, we want to make sure that we're allocating the correct capacity for the site.
Okay. All right. And so the last point I want to just bring up is that this developer has completed the phase 1 project, which was in 2 stages of phase 1A and phase 1B, and has consumed all of the water units that were allocated to those 2 projects completing phase 1. So at this time, there are no water units or wastewater units available for any future growth over there until such time as the water capacity from the Klondike Park water well project or well water project completes. And so that'll initiate the agreement that the municipality has with all of our developers in our community to continue to fund that. So I just wanted to make sure that your representatives understand that, and that the community know that that is contingent upon that agreement being executed in its full. And so the last item, if I can ask a question, perhaps the staff, the stormwater management plan and the stormwater management design for this phase 2 project, has it been considered with the, is it engineered with the work that's gone on in phase 1 so that the stormwater management system is supposed to work to protect all the residents in the new subdivision as well as the residents on the current Margaret Street.
Through the chair, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, so in terms of the overall engineering design for the stormwater, phase one, which is separating to phase 1B, does have its individual stormwater facilities on that site. The phase two can proceed, they're proposing to proceed with a separate stormwater facility for that project. So there are two stormwater facilities for the overall development of the property. But the phase two would not be contingent on the phase one existing stormwater facilities on the site.
I know that there's, as Councillor MacArthur mentioned, that the Margaret Street road has to have some work done on it. In order to bring this water capacity and wastewater capacity to the phase one site, there'll be significant work needed on Margaret Street, which will be some pipes. It'll certainly need to be added to that street in order to bring the capacity levels in. And the stormwater management system from the phase one design has to be completed. All of that needs to happen to support phase two. Now, there is a phase two stormwater management pond, but the entire project needs to work contingently with each other so that we don't have a flooding situation in either of the two areas. So I'm just looking, I know we don't have any engineering on staff or with us tonight to help answer this, but this is a big concern, certainly to the residents of Margaret Street and frankly to the residents of Stayner in general. So staff, you can assure us that the stormwater management system is being considered.
Through the chair, absolutely. The stormwater and flooding. And in terms of requirements, phase one, you are correct. It does require upgrades to infrastructure on Margaret Street. So the final build out of that will bring forward those improvements, which then will connect and help facilitate the phase two lands. You are correct in that.
All right. Well, thank you. So, Mr. Chair, the exercise we're doing tonight is just part of moving forward the whole process to get to the point where a decision can be made so that the developer knows that they have responsibilities to the community to make this work. So, thank you.
I think that's important, and I'll just add a little comment to that. We've been inundated with concerns in regards to that Margaret Street drainage, and it has to be dealt with. And I, for one, will not be supportive until we make sure that the residents of Margaret Street are satisfied, and it has to be dealt with because it's not fair to them. So, and if it's part of the phase one, somebody's oversight, well, let's just get it straightened out and not keep passing the buck. So anyways, thank you. Okay, Councillor Walker.
Further to that, then, as phase two moves forward, we need to be very careful of the fact that Huron Meadows is at that far end. So that flooding does not occur there that has happened to Margaret Street. Yeah. So we need to make sure that that phase drainage is in effect before they start moving a lot of soils and do a lot of digging and building so that we are not flooding out. Again, another seniors home, a bunch of homes there that could be very susceptible to that type of problem.
Having just comment to that, having worked on that property, Huron Meadows is already in a swamp. It's already a wet area, so we don't want to aggravate what's there already. So we'll heed to your comments. Thank you. Okay, everybody's had a chance to speak on this. Any other comments? Councillor Broderick, you're good? Everybody's good? Good, thank you. Well, then this concludes the public meeting with respect to the zoning bylaw amendment for file 2025-080 regarding the Ashton Meadows Phase 2 subdivision. We thank all who attended and provided comments for their interest in this matter. All input received with regard to this proposal will be fully considered by the staff in their recommendation and by council in their decision with respect to this application. A report regarding this proposal will be prepared for council and who will make a decision concerning this matter at a future meeting. With that, Your Honor, there are no other public meetings on this agenda. I will pass the chair back to yourself.
All right. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Council, and we move to item number 4 on our agenda, which is the bylaw to confirm the proceedings of tonight's meeting. Recommendation be it resolved that bylaw 2575 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the December 10, 2025 special council meeting be presented and read a first, second, and third time and finally passed on the 10th day of December 2025. Mr. Broderick, Mr. MacArthur, thank you so much, gentlemen. And any questions on the bylaw? Seeing none, I'll call the motion. All in favor? And the bylaw carries. At this time, we do have the opportunity to have the motion to adjourn unless there's any future business or business of the municipality that needs to be done in the year 2025. As this is our last meeting, there's nothing further at this time. All right, let's hope we don't have to call any special meetings or any emergency meetings or anything like that. Don't jinx it. I know. Jeepers. We're going to call the time at 6:01 p.m. and that this meeting will be adjourned. Moved by Councillor Deneen, seconded by the Deputy Mayor. And we'll call it adjourned. All those in favor? Thank you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.